Tonight, a massive cleanup on I-5. This is a shot of the scene where a landslide shut down all northbound lanes until at least tomorrow. Just after noon today, a landslide crashed onto the road just south of Bellingham and crushed multiple cars. It's one of many dramatic stories emerging from this historic storm today. Glad to have you with us tonight. I'm Greg Copeland.
I'm Joyce Taylor. Several towns are facing flooding emergencies tonight as the rivers swell. Neighbors banded together in Whatcom County using boats and this front loader to evacuate people and pets from the floodwaters. Could take days before all of this water drains out. We have team coverage for you tonight with crews spread out across the region, tracking the worst of the flooding, also the damage from Whidbey Island and Mount Vernon to the Canadian border. Adam Claiborne standing by in the Weather Center.
But we're going to begin with that big shutdown on I-5. Northbound lanes again are closed near the Lake Samish exit in Whatcom County, and they are going to stay that way all night long. King 5's Ted Land is live there with a look at the cleanup. Ted?
Hi guys, we're standing right in the middle of northbound I-5, and this is the mess WashDOT has to deal with. Tons of trees and debris barreled down a nearby hillside onto the lanes of traffic, hitting 3 cars in the process. One person was injured, but we're told those injuries are minor. That person was taken away to a local hospital to get checked out. But there is such a mess on this road tonight that it will remain closed overnight. They're waiting for daybreak before sending in the bulldozers and chainsaws to start working on this debris here. This is going to be a very big disruption for several hours. Southbound I-5 is closed as well because they're concerned about the possibility of more debris, more water and mud flowing onto the road in this area. There are some trees just barely hanging onto the hillside, and they just don't want people coming through here in the middle of the night and potentially facing more danger. It's a very dynamic situation. We just spoke with Washington State Patrol about some of the conditions that they're seeing throughout the region.
We have people running all over the county with the State Patrol, allied agencies, search and rescue, and DOT, just trying to ensure that there's road closed signs on the roadways if they're unsafe for people to cross them so they don't attempt to, as well as to make sure that the roadways aren't being undercut.
At one point, crews were concerned some of these big trees might break loose from these northbound lanes and then slide down onto the southbound lanes. When this all happened, some of the drivers in the area jumped into action to try and help people out of their cars and rescue them. Again, the good news here, no serious injuries out of this very dangerous situation, but do be prepared for some big disruptions overnight and likely into tomorrow. That's the latest here. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Ted, thanks. Your best bet north and south, Chuckanut Drive, but again, only if you have to get on the roads. The Coast Guard airlifted people stranded by rising floodwaters near La Push. Video shows strong floodwaters pouring over the roadway and helicopter helping to lift people to safety. This is right along La Push Road west of the town of Forks. The Coast Guard rescued at least 10 people.
Now, many of the rescues today happened in the town of Sumas near the Washington-Canada border. King 5's Eric Wilkinson is live there with the rescue operations underway today. Eric?
Yeah, right. All day and now into the night, we've been watching people with their own personal fishing boats and in some cases even tractors crossing this washed out road here into Sumas to rescue folks who have been left stranded. Folks out here really with no other option than to take matters into their own hands. With city and county rescue crews inundated with calls for help, neighbors are forced to take their fishing boats out and troll for people.
They're in a bad way out there. There's a lot of water, and it's only getting higher.
Jordan Beld has family stranded in the floodwaters and is desperate to get them to safety as the waters rise.
A couple hours ago, they all thought they were all right, and now water has showed up, and it's coming full force. So,
how deep is it out there? How bad is it?
I've heard in neighborhoods we're up to 4 or 5 feet. People got a foot in their house.
This is downtown Sumas along the Canadian border, almost completely cut off. Sarah Ivanhoe and her 15-year-old son left their home when water started flooding inside. They live about 2 miles away and had to wade through freezing cold water until a boat came by to pick them up.
There was nothing in our house in less than 30 minutes. It was up to our knees, our ankles, and outside in our yard. For me, it was like up to my waist in some spots.
How scared were you?
Terrified.
It's bad. It's pretty deep. It's fast. It's dirty. It's cold.
Rescues are happening all across Whatcom County. Emergency officials reporting about 70 by late morning. At one point, I-5 North was closed down after trees fell across the highway.
We're still kind of in that mode where, okay, what's next?
Emergency managers say people are ignoring road closed signs and then getting stuck, putting themselves and rescue crews at risk.
In 2020, we actually did have a firefighter that almost was swept away trying to rescue somebody.
For now, folks are simply getting people to safety any way they can and grateful for a community that cares so deeply.
We're a pretty tight community, so we have a lot of family everywhere, and a lot of family means a lot of people need help. That's what community does. We're here to help each other, and so we're going to give it a go and see if we can do something for them.
We're told there are now at least 300 people in various emergency shelters here in Whatcom County alone. That number is certainly going to increase as we're seeing more people being brought from Sumas out to, I guess what you would kind of call the mainland right now, so they can get some help in those shelters. We'll stay on top of this for you throughout the night. For now, reporting live near Sumas, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
Boy, that picture behind you just paints a picture. Eric, thank you. Check out this scene on Orcas Island. Point Lawrence Road is completely washed out by, this is near Doe Bay. San Juan County Emergency Management is asking islanders to stay off the road as much as possible.
Our meteorologist Adam Claiborne is in the Weather Center. You've been tracking all this. The worst of the weather's behind us, but still some problems ahead, right?
Right, yeah. We still have the effects to go through here tonight, tomorrow. Flooding should be coming down for a lot of our rivers. Still a lot of extremely wet soil, so we just don't know what will give way. So we're going to keep an eye on that as far as possible additional landslides. But you can see right here as we take a look out towards the west along the coast at Westport, the rain pretty much come to an end for us. We might see a few sprinkles as we go on into the night, but a lot of the shower activity mainly off to the north and right now with our convergence zone just north of Seattle. A few spotty showers along the coast where we've been getting hit so hard here across Whatcom County. We still have some areas of rain that are showing up for us, generally though pretty light as you go up here closer to Bellingham and Blaine. Now some heavier shower activity coming through Kirkland right now and through Redmond, but this is also beginning to fade for us, thankfully. Flood watch still out for most of western Washington until we go into tomorrow afternoon. We still have a lot of flood warnings out, all these light green shaded areas with the polygons, the Skagit River, the Snohomish River a little farther south, the Skokomish River out closer to Potlatch and a little farther north. You can see here the Bogachil and also the Elwha River. Those have already crested, but we are expecting those to continue to recede as we go on into the night. Bellingham, we do have a few light showers still left behind, but mainly it's a cooling down process and a drying process here throughout the night. We'll get more into the forecast though for tomorrow and some sunshine on the way coming up.
Statewide, more than 140,000 people are without power tonight. 140,000. Over half of those outages are reported by Puget Sound Energy. Most of Whidbey Island and Vashon Island are in the dark tonight. Stay with King 5 News for the very latest on conditions. You can track the weather and get any urgent notifications with our King 5 News app.